The Guardian or Gloom Hands, the two signatures enemies of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Today I'm going to be talking about which one I think is better. So starting off with Breath of the Wild, we have the Guardians, specifically talking about the full big boy Guardians that are all over the map that everybody was so shocked to see when you first started playing Breath of the Wild. First off, how scary are they in terms of a new player playing the game, starting up for the first time in his journey? My personal experience with the Guardians, obviously you get the little introduction to the head Guardian when you first play Breath of the Wild and you go to the first little starting area, and that's a little bit scary, especially if you don't know how to if you don't know what the laser does, and obviously if you don't take the hints, that is a big red laser shining right in your face and you should hide. It can be a little bit scary, definitely for sure, and obviously getting one shot for the first time is definitely scary. However, I think that first area perfectly encapsulates what a Guardian is. The ominous music, perfect music for Guardians, honestly. I already think the Guardian has better music than Gloomhands. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. Gloomhands themes is probably easily forgotten by most people. Guardians theme definitely won't be forgotten anytime soon. As soon as you hear those first few notes, you instantly know what time it is and that you better start running. I think the Guardians design is also very, very cool. Both Gloomhands and Guardians have very interesting designs, especially the Guardians, the fact that they're ancient technology from the Sheikah, that they turned evil and now they hunt Link, stuff like that, and the fact that they roam everywhere is really cool, especially on all legs. In terms of formidability, I think the Guardian is easily more formidable. However, there is a lot more to do with the Guardian. Both enemies, once you understand how to defeat them, are relatively easy to defeat. For the Guardians, you just have to chop off their legs or shoot them in the eye, and they're easily taken care of. For Gloomhands, you just kind of stay above them. They can't climb up anything, and since they don't have any projectiles to throw at you, if you're not on the ground, then there's not much Gloomhands could do. However, I would say that early game, Gloomhands are definitely probably more scary than Guardians, just because of the fact that Gloomhands are terrifying in the fact that they turn the whole screen black. You just start running and you can't outrun them because you don't have enough stamina. Those first few moments when you encounter Gloomhands, just the ominous, it's more of a horror villain in that aspect compared to a Guardian, because when a Guardian's coming after you, you know a Guardian is coming after you, right? You hear the Guardian behind you, you hear the music starts playing. However, with Gloomhands, all of a sudden, I remember when I was playing first through Tears of the Kingdom for the first time, I heard a Gloomhands behind. I didn't know the Gloomhands even existed. I just saw a patch of the gloom in the dirt, and I walked past it, and then all of a sudden the screen starts going black, and the music starts picking up, and then I see these hands chasing behind, and you just start running, and it's that really ominous feeling that you don't normally get from other stuff. It's stuff that you don't normally get from other enemies in the game, and I think it's why the Gloomhands and Guardians are so unique. So now that we've overviewed both of them, let's talk about which one is better in each aspect. In terms of formidability, like I said before, I think the Guardian is easily more formidable. Most people, probably all people, would say that the Guardians are a lot harder to defeat than are the Gloomhands. Next up, design-wise, I'm actually going to keep it a tie. I think the Gloomhands are easily one of the best designs in Tears of the Kingdom. Easily such a cool design to come out of the ground, just be hands. Creepy music, perfectly fits the horror aspect of some of the new Tears of the Kingdom villains. Perfect design. Guardian, same thing. Perfect design for the Sheikah technology, coming straight out of Link's hibernation and seeing these robot monsters walking everywhere. I think both of them are really great designs, so I'm going to have to give it a tie there. Next up, for in terms of music, like I said before, Guardian clears in pretty much every aspect. So overall, I'm going to say that the Guardian probably clears Gloomhands in terms of signature villain for the game. You could argue even so that Guardian is more of a signature villain than Gloomhands is, and that Tears of the Kingdom doesn't even really have a signature villain or a signature enemy compared to Guardians in Breath of the Wild. But I think Guardians are just so much more recognizable and had such a bigger impact than Gloomhands will ever have. I'd be surprised if anybody thought Gloomhands were better than Guardians that played both games. Just in general, you hear more people talking about the Guardians compared to Gloomhands. And my personal favorite enemy in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom combined is probably Guardians, and then Lynel behind that. And you could argue that Lynel was a more signature enemy than Gloomhands. However, I like to see these arguments because a lot of people have talked about Gloomhands being the signature enemy or the signature villain mini boss of Tears of the Kingdom, and I wanted to see how it compared to the Guardian. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the Guardian is better, or do you think that Gloomhands is better? As always, make sure to leave those comments down below. I'll try to respond to as many as I can. Let's get the debate started. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.